And we have a breaking news coming in. A blast was reported at the US-Canada border. The United States attorney in Buffalo has said that there's no indication of a terrorist attack. In the vehicle crash and explosion that left 2 people dead at a checkpoint on the American side of a US-Canada bridge. Surveillance video recorded at the border crossing shows a car veer off the road and shoot airborne towards the crossing. The crash raised concerns on both sides of the border. The incident prompted the closing of the border crossing and 3 others in the area. According to reports, earlier on Wednesday, a vehicle sped toward a border checkpoint at the US side of the bridge. It hit a booth, exploded, and it went airborne. The driver and passenger were both killed in this bomb blast. No terrorist angle is being expected as of now, but the investigations are on as to what led to this explosion at the US-Canada border as the vehicle crashed, killing a driver and another person in the explosion in the area. The blast was reported at the US-Canada border. The US State's attorney in Buffalo has said that there is no indication of a terrorist attack in the vehicle crash. An explosion left 2 people dead at a checkpoint on the American side of a US-Canada bridge.
And again, the investigation continues. As the FBI SAC said, we will continue to investigate, but our preliminary assessment of the situation is it was not terrorism related, but we will continue to stay vigilant. We will continue to make sure that the information we have is passed on to the public. But as the sheriff said, people can lower their heightened sensitivities to this, knowing that we do not believe this was a terrorist.
Because the world is watching to find out what happened here. And again, at a time when there's such high anxiety, stress levels are already high. And we've been on heightened alert since October 7th. That's why it's so important for me to stand here and tell the world, based on what we know at this moment, and again, anything can change, there is no sign of terrorist activity with respect to this crash. We've identified that this is a local individual, a Western New Yorker. 2 individuals died in the vehicle. The Border Patrol individual working in the booth was injured. The booth literally protected that individual. They went to the hospital with minor injuries and have been released. There is also, again, the busiest travel day of the year, there's a major disruption in, first of all, our cross-border travel. Right now, the Rainbow Bridge will remain closed while law enforcement continues investigation. Again, this is a large, widely scattered scene, and we're trying to identify all the elements to make sure that there is no unforeseen situations that we need to address before we can open again to the public. We're going to make sure the public is safe before they go back on the Rainbow Bridge. This investigation will go on for a number of days, and that's why we will not have any further answers at this time as to the individuals involved, the deceased, any motivation, and there's a lot of unanswered questions. But at this time, we just need to dial down the temperature right now. And that's what I plan to do as governor, just let everybody know. All is well. We're investigating. More information could arise, but based on the preliminary investigation.
This is obviously a very serious situation in Niagara Falls. There was a vehicle explosion at the Rainbow Bridge crossing. I've been briefed by the NSIA and the Minister of Public Safety. CBSA, RCMP, and Transport Canada are all fully engaged in providing the necessary support. There are a lot of questions, and we are following up to try and get as many answers as rapidly as possible. We are in close contact with U.S. officials, and will continue to work closely with them. We will continue to be engaged. We will provide updates. Updates I can give right now is there are 4 border crossings that are right now closed: Rainbow Bridge, Whirlpool Bridge, Queenston Bridge, and Peace Bridge. Additional measures are being contemplated and activated at all border crossings across the country. We are taking this extraordinarily seriously, and Mr. Speaker, I will have to excuse myself now to go get further updates and work on this very serious situation.
Now, this explosion has happened at the Rainbow Bridge on the US side of the US-Canada border. The authorities are investigating the different angles that could be involved in this blast, though as of now, the authorities have ruled out any terrorist involvement. But the fact that it has happened on a checkpoint from US to Canada kind of makes it tricky. Also, the two people who were inside the car have reportedly succumbed to their injuries. Just now, we listened to Justin Trudeau, who hurried away because he had to go and get involved and take care of the situation at hand as of now. But as more reports and information will pour in, we will fill you up. Moving on to our next story.